Welcome back to CWL Fort Worth, where Luminosity has just guaranteed themselves a top 3 placing here with their defeat of Enigma 6. We're joined by Momo, Pac-Man, and Study. Now, Study, what has stood out to you about LG so far?
Well, LG, the way that they played at the Pro League, the first week they went 0-4. They closed out the second week on a 3-win spree. People were talking about, okay, like they probably should make a roster change. They decided to stick together. This team, ever since yesterday, they had like an okay day yesterday, but today, unbelievable performance. Gunless, that first map, was an absolute unit. I'm pretty sure he was like 43 and 19. I'm pretty sure he almost had a War Machine 3 times.
He's unstoppable.
Yeah. Unstoppable. But the main player for me is Classic. Classic has just stepped up his game compared to yesterday. It has to do definitely with the Rampart. This guy's just able to wall bang every single person. But it's just a different meta that the team is bringing today. Obviously, the communication and everything is just flowing for them today, and it looks really good at LG.
And Momo, we've seen that Rampart start to crop up all over the place.
We're seeing the Rampart. Classic was using the ABR on some controls. It's the very start that he kind of switches things up, but he's kind of consistently starting to use that Rampart through the whole game now, and it is working for him. He just feels comfortable. And like Stud said, obviously, when they're on the main stage, it's this vibe about LG, which we missed in the first couple of weeks in the Pro League, where, you know, they're excited, they're beating teams with ease. That, you saw kind of the fly through there. It was by 100 points on Hardpoint, 6-1 Search and Destroy. It doesn't even seem that difficult for them right now. And yes, people question their opposition, but they're just beating whoever's been put in front of them.
And look at these stats from Gunless.
This guy's an absolute unit. I think we have to argue that he's definitely probably the best player in the game.
I mean, he always has that potential. I talked to Slack before the match. He said when they formed this team, they formed a team full of superstars, right? So it put them like not on the same page. They're ego challenging. They're so used to being able to win all these individual fights. Said once they got on the same page, they started working together. Basically, not trying to use all that talent and learn how to play together. It became so much easier, right? So once your team is playing better, now we can see your superstar perform on a way higher level. That's what we saw at a Dashy, that's what we're seeing at a Tim, now that's what we're seeing at a Gunless.
Like yesterday, you can even tell, they were team killing with specialists, they were pushing things when they didn't need to, but today they look like a completely different team. Everything is going right for them, the communication has to be there, the confidence is definitely there for the team. You can see as they're just running through series like with ease. So LG, they're looking really scary right now.
Now, Luminosity may have won on Alpha, but 100 Thieves swept Heretics right out of Fort Worth on Bravo. We're gonna watch the final moments of that. It was just packed so clean.
Yeah, the first map, even though I got to watch the series on the first map, and 100 Thieves just absolutely destroyed. And when I'm saying that, I mean Octane. Octane was 17 and 4. Everyone else, I'm pretty sure Enable was 4 and 6. Just absolutely just relaxing, sitting in the hill, doing what he needed to do. But this team is another team of just absolute powerhouses.
100 Thieves has played Arsenal Hardpoint in their first map of every single series.
They haven't lost.
They are 5-1. They lost it one time. Their opponents are scoring an average of 173 points, and that's with the loss. No one has reached over 200 points when they've won it, and they're gonna get every single series, and they're dominant on that map.
Why are they being allowed to do that, though? Is there something else people are more scared of?
Yeah, oftentimes it's the other team has an auto veto. So if you're gonna auto veto a map, you're gonna allow them to pick their best map, and they're taking advantage.
And I don't think even coming into this event, you know, that was their map. It's not like a map that they kind of knew about. Yes, they've been doing great at Fort Worth, but it's very hard to kind of adapt to it. But I believe, obviously, 100 Thieves, you know, making it look easier against Heretics here, you know, with a quick 3-0. You guys are watching the very final end to the control here, but 100 Thieves again, still in it, still going through. A lot of fans here. They're going to go up, I believe, against Enigma 6 later on. I think that's tomorrow now. But it's that team that did beat them on that Arsenal. So how they adapt, will they play it again? Are they going to play to their strengths? Are they going to try and change things against E6? I'm not sure.
I have a hard time believing that a team that's only lost a map once will switch, even though it's to that team.
Yeah.
They probably feel like they're in a different space than they were at that point.
And 100 Thieves, obviously, yes, it's denial, yes, it's Heretics, and people might think it's a bit of an easier run, but again, just like I said about Luminosity, they're playing who is put in front of them. 3-0, 3-0, these guys are feeling themselves, and I go back to kind of the addition of Priester. You know, since that addition of Priester, I think these guys have just come on leaps and bounds. Same for Crowder as well. He brings so much to the team, and it's showing in 100 Thieves.
For me, it's how other people are stepping up around him. Octane is playing an amazing tournament. For me, he's like the MVP of this tournament so far for 100 Thieves. And then you have Kenny. Kenny's playing outstanding, returning back to that form that we saw last year, where he was a superstar, possibly the best player in the game, along with Gunless. Superstar status back for Kenny. Now they just look terrifying.
I think 100 Thieves are just riding the momentum. They have a 9-1 map count today, and it all started with E United. When you get a powerhouse team going against a powerhouse team, the momentum of whoever wins that match is going to be unbelievable. They're just going to ride that wave throughout the entire day, and it's definitely showing the way that they just ran through Denial and the same way they just ran through Heretics.
I mean, everyone, it was a 3-1, a 3-0, and a 3-0 from 100 Thieves today, so they've got to be feeling on top of the world. But we do want to bring up our winners bracket, see what is going to be going on there. Again, as you just saw on Alpha, LG taking down E6, but we are still moving very much along here. Momo, are you more scared of an LG or a 100 team?
Oh, I mean, both are firing on all cylinders right now. If I was to play one, I think they've kind of had the same troubles, but if I was to play one, I'd probably play LG. I don't even have a reason why. I don't know. Honestly, 100 Thieves just seemed like they're on a roll, but so are LG. These guys are just taking down everyone. The big win was the 3-2 victory over Gen.G. We saw what Gen.G did to Optic. It proves a point, but LG and 100 Thieves, obviously, they're in the running to obviously take this tournament with big names out of it already. It's going to be incredible.
Now, Pac, coming up next on Alpha, we do have Splyce and Red Reserve. Red has been looking very hot so far.
Yeah, Red for me came out of nowhere. Like, I knew they had this talent, not come out of nowhere. Surprised me with the level that they returned to. They returned to the form where, like, okay, these guys look like a tournament, like championship contender. Splyce, on the other hand, we knew what we can get out of them. We've seen them before. They got third at Las Vegas. Denial gave them a run for their money, though. So Splyce doesn't step up from that performance. If Red continue to play how they've been playing, I see Red taking this match.
I just think it's always going to be like whenever you come into an event on Saturday, it's your first match. And I know they ended up pulling out the series really close versus Denial in a 3-2 fashion. But once you get that first win, you're just like, okay, we messed up a couple things in our first series. Obviously, we're just waking up. Got a little bit of a warm-up in, but now we got to make sure we eliminate our mistakes and focus on our next match.
Yeah, take a breather, relax. They know what they're doing. Again, both of these teams, Red Reserve and Splyce, have so much talent. They know what they're doing. But we did just see LG secure themselves top 3 with their win over Enigma 6. But coming up on Alpha, we have a Red Reserve versus Splyce.
Welcome back to the Alpha broadcast here at CWL Fort Worth. Up next, our other winners semi fighting for top 3. It's Splyce, Red Reserve. Joe, this should be one incredible series.
It absolutely should be. I mean, on one side, you have a team, this is where we expect them, right? In the top 6, that's Splyce, right? I mean, they got top 3 at Vegas. We know that they are a powerhouse. On the other side, it's Red Reserve. Finally, it feels like they are here. They played so well throughout this tournament, and they're just clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk with Zero a little bit before this, and yeah, he's feeling very confident, loving how the squad is playing right now. But they need one more series tonight, one more. It is a winner's bracket match, so obviously a loser here still has a chance to make a run, but you'll be feeling great sitting in that winner's bracket final, guaranteed top 3. But we'll kick things off on Arsenal, Splyce, Red. Here we go.
Well, so far so good for Red Reserve, but Splyce still here, just trying to contest and stay alive. Aqua able to bring it back, and Splyce is in the hard point. It was a 3 versus 5 at one point in favor of Red Reserve, and it feels like it's 0. We watched him earlier today, had such a great series. Hopefully that can continue for him. So
you and I have casted a ton of Arsenal Hardpoint. I mean, 100 Thieves have been playing in map 1 basically every series. For you and I, at least from our broadcast standpoint, we've seen a lot of this particular map. Has there been anything that's really stood out for the teams that are finding success here on Arsenal?
Early leads, right? I feel like it's always 50 to 100 point leads off the first couple of hills. This one, you can see that it's pretty back and forth. Joe's gonna contest a little bit, but really it's those 50 to 100 point leads, and then it comes down to that last hill inside of Cafe. I feel like the teams that are great on Arsenal are really good at just getting a lot of time getting inside. It doesn't matter if you have the front or the back spawn. If you can win the gunfights inside, you can really stack it from anywhere.
Well, Splyce right now will enjoy the back spawns as we look towards our second hard point, but it's going to be Red inside. Jared trying to grapple in, but he's ripped as soon as he gets in. It's Scraps, who has been phenomenal, but it's been everybody really stepping up at times. It feels like it for the side of Red. Like Vance has had his series where he's gone massive. Joe's gone big in games. Zero's been consistent, rated with a monster day 1. Like somebody has stepped it up every time they need him. Can they do it here again against Splyce?
Yeah, one guy I want to watch out for is accuracy. He's out of 4 spree right now because we saw in the Pro League, really I mean, he struggled throughout it. The second week, it was him and Jerd. That sort of duo did not play well. I mean, Pro League, they're sitting at what, like 4-3? Not the best record overall, but they went to that Freeland.
Well, really a bad second week too, which is what's tough kind of leading into the event. Freeland, though, did you hear mostly positive stuff for them?
I heard it started off slow, but by the end of it, it seemed like they figured things out.
Well, the Freeland, I mean, it's not looking great for 2 teams. Heretics out, Optic out, but then on the other end of it, 100 Thieves still fighting, and Splyce sitting here with a chance to get into that winner's bracket final. Splyce had built up a 40 or so point lead, but Red Reserve will be set up at Statue. The pinch now coming in though, and it's accuracy leading the way on the other side. Incredible shot from him. The streak pushes up to 6, streaks in, trophy out, accuracy doing it all.
Yeah, we talked about 100 Thieves and Kenny, the great year he had last year, but this was his duo, right? Accuracy was the STG watching over him, and we just haven't seen that same guy. The clutch in S&D, the ridiculous respawn KDs. Accuracy just hasn't been the key guy for Splyce.
You know, in 4v4, even 5, you need that 1-2 punch. Like your SFG isn't going off if you don't have that AR opening lanes for you, but what a power combo they were all of last year. Kenny's starting to find success is now when it starts to click for accuracy at 10 and 6. Temp, maybe the standout superstar for this team, 1 and 5, not really going for him, but it doesn't matter. When you're up 70 points, the stats aren't a big deal.
Yeah, great job by Splyce. Just that rotation from 2 to 3 to combine a couple of hills together. Plus they have streaks to, well, at least contest the gun hill. I know they have early control, but Red Reserve is right behind them as Scraps trying to fight through the window with the help of Zero. So they're going to contest. They have the presence here. Heck, they might have even won all the gunfights they needed to for control.
Scraps' POV right now. The cluster will connect, but Jerd will get the better of him. A little help from Looney there as they push up through that back ramp. That's the opening they need. They'll get in. Temp started to get it going a bit. Finds 3 kills, but, well, 3 in a row now for him at 5 and 7. They'll definitely need a hot hand from Temp, I think, to get past this Red Reserve squad. Haven't needed it early, but you think over the course of this series, he's absolutely going to have to pick it up.
Red Reserve did a great job there, though. I mean, they used the Hellstorm and the Lightning Strike. The Lightning found nothing from accuracy, only his teammate. So they didn't give up too many points with those streaks that were invested. Now Red Reserve trying to fight on in. They have control, but here comes Looney, here comes Aqua. And this is what I was talking about. It just feels like this hill, if you can get in, you can get so many points no matter the spawn you have.
He didn't finish the kill. He didn't finish the kill, and Raiden will be punished. Thought he had it for a second there, but wasn't able to close it out. Now Joe finds a double, but nothing more there as he goes to slide on in. The lead nearing 100 points for Splyce. They have taken control early in this map one. Nothing seemed to be able to slow down Jerd except for his teammate. It's Looney that picks him up after back-to-back melee kills for him. Jerd 13-9, you gotta love to see that, just considering the struggles towards the tail end of that Pro League.
And I mean, for Jerd, he's playing some of his ex-teammates, right? Like, this is sort of a bit of a pride match for him. He left the European roster to get on the American one, and, well, he's seen more success than these guys so far.
Oh, well, that's one way to use your War Machine effectively, up close and personal. Grenade Aqua's face will make quick work of him. But now we get into the second set of rotations, and we need to see a different Red Reserve team out the gate. They've got to start stringing together some hard points. You mentioned the big leads has been one of the biggest standouts for you, and that was Splyce early on. You feel like Red's gonna make a run at some point, and we know this Splyce team, they've let teams back into hard points those past few weeks of the Pro League. Like, they'd have massive leads, they'd let teams make a run. More often than not, they were closing out the games, but they do let you inch back into it.
This is an opportunity right here for Red Reserve. They got to get 30 to 40 on this middle hill, and now is an opportunity. You have an early rotation from Splyce. If the kills go the way of Red Reserve, you can spawn out Splyce so far away. Gunfight in from Zero. Nice shot with the ICR. But Aqua with the Tempest, able to connect onto a couple. You can see that player, well, he might have tac mass, but he's just going to stay down in the hill, continue to hit shots. Temp now with the War Machine, the 1-2 punch comes on in, and this might be the hold Splyce needs.
Yeah, what a power combo that was between your two specialist weapons. I know Aqua doesn't get a lot of kills, but he sure as hell makes sure that Red Reserve can't apply any pressure to the objective. Jerd's gonna go ahead and use the grab slam. So you use what Tempest, War Machine, grab slam, all in this hard point, just kind of trying to put Red Reserve away. You think if you get a big chunk of time here, maybe you put it out of reach.
Yeah, you get up to 220, and again, you can start playing around scrap time, just fighting for it. You don't have to rotate as early. And this, again, this was a hill that was an opportunity for Red Reserve to get a couple of hills back to back just due to their great job inside the middle hill. They are fighting for the last 15. Vance now working on streaks. Maybe this could be the difference for Red Reserve.
Yeah, a bit of a catalyst for them maybe to make a run. The Lightning's gonna get called in immediately on rotation. Funnels them in and enables Scraps to get a kill. Maybe an opening for them to get into the hard point, but they haven't found it yet. It's Temp and Looney that shut down the lobby push. Zero then comes in with the grab slam. I thought that was gonna connect on it too. It's not gonna do it, so they need to put the Hellstorm through as well. Vance does that, then pulls out the Tempest immediately. First shot off, second one tags accuracy, and that's gonna slow down that aggression from Splyce towards the hard point. He might get caught. Nope, Zero's got his back.
This is a situation that Aqua is in. Yeah, he's hitting shots, maybe not getting kills, but he's slowing down the push as his teammates are cleaning on up. And, well, we talked about those streaks, and I think he get them right back in the game.
I mean, he's still on that same streak. He's got 10 in a row up to 16 and 12. What a run from Vance that had a slow start to the game, but this is exactly when Red need him to go off. Can he get another set of streaks, which could be so influential down the stretch of this at game one hard point? The lead now down to just 40 points. Splyce set up well for the next hard point. Can you just get a kill for Vance? There's the assist. Now maybe in the opening here, they're going to use it right away. The Lightning's going to come in. This is exactly what they need. How many does it find? A teammate and Aqua? No, but two more in the last one. The last missile comes through, and Red Reserve right in. The comeback alive and well, Joe.
And the big thing is Rated has the vision ball, so he's going to pop this, so they should be able to at least win the rest of this time. Both those couple of hills, the last 2, 2 and 3, both
He's
teams
still going.
use so many other specialists, and there we go, finally gets taken down. What a streak from Vance.
Up to 14 or 15, I think it was, before he finally dropped. That's insane, considering he's at 20 and 13. He's what, double negative before that run comes in. The contest now there for Splyce. They should get the scrap time, and just based on how many points they have on the board, that might be a scary scenario for Red Reserve, and they've got the setup towards office as well. Jerd and Accuracy get big kills in transition. That's going to allow them to get set up. And all you really have is the Hellstorm, and is that big of a deal here on this hardpoint?
No, it's not, but well, Zero with the Sog up top is a big deal. They have to deal with it. Temp deals with that cluster. Hellstorm in. Rated scraps, both win some gunfights, but Splyce.
Look how far they spawn out. Look how far they spawn out, though. 3 members from Splyce in Narnia as they have to try and rotate back to the hardpoint. It's all on Tip and Accuracy to try to make the plays, but they're doing just that. They each find a kill, but it's still going to be red inside. Zero there, now trailing by 17 points and an opportunity to make this run. What a comeback it would be in this first map. But despite the kills, it's still Splyce inside.
It was Temp and Accuracy, though. Temp found 2 kills. Accuracy found 1 in the back. They just made it so difficult, and that created a pinch, which is spawning Red Reserve out. If those 2 players don't stay alive, Red could potentially take the lead instead. Splyce can win it right here. As you said, just 7 more seconds needed. I don't know if the tick's going to be through.
It's not there. It's not there. So that's going to get them, I think, to 248. 248 on the board. Back to mid. Now, this is where Red Reserve really started the comeback, right? They got a 40, 50-second hold inside a lab.
Couple of War Machines, maybe. Looney able to find 2, make it 3. What a play out of Looney. They have to contest. Temp finds the 4th, and Splyce take map 1.
The play of the game, it's probably gotta be Accuracy and Temp. You saw how far out those 3 spawned. I mean, it's across the map. This isn't Hacienda where you're getting a 3-second hike back to the hard point. That's a 10-second jog. Like, they're way out deep, and they find, what, 3 of the 5 kills. So then that pinch develops, like you said, but that was a huge moment in the big run, really, from Red. And, well, for Red, I mean, Vance did what he could on that stretch, but I think we're actually gonna hop right over to Bravo to check in on the action and see what's going down there as we get prepped for our search and destroy. But it's Gen.G Reciprocity, and Gen.G up 70 right now.
Yeah, and if you're Gen.G, you just know the momentum that these guys have on their side. You know, you win a Game 5 against the former champs in Optic Gaming. That gives you a lot of momentum. And they're doing it on such little practice.
And remember, this is a loser's round 3 match. So I know we're highlighting on Alpha winners match. You know, you lose, you still get to fight. Here, you lose, you are out of it. Gen.G, one of the top teams coming in. I don't know if many consider them the favorites, but they were definitely on a short list of teams that have potential to make a run and win this.
I mean, they were 6-1 in the league. Obviously, you go through the team change, but 6-1. Yes, you played Optic with Zuma. You know, you could flip that as whatever you want.
It's still a good record.
Yeah, still a very solid record. But yeah, we knew they had the potential, but then they get Envoy, and I mean, he's just brought so much firepower to the team, especially in the response. He said it in the post-match interview. Can they put together a couple of search and destroys? They finally won a Game 5, and that gets them in this
that's
situation.
What's been weird. We see improvements in the respawns, but them dropping, what, 4 or 5 searches, I think, over the course of this weekend. So that might be the big highlight as this series goes deeper. It's how they perform in the search.
33-14, is that what he is right now?
Dude, Envoy's nasty. Yeah. He is really, really good. If there were some doubters about him or the pickup on this team, maybe you could talk about results, but him individually, he's been disgusting. And there he is linked together with a Hellstorm and the Lightning. I think that comes up with 4 or 5 kills, and that'll close out the game. Gen.G get the map 1 win in that losers bracket 3 match.
Yeah, so I think tomorrow as well, I think it's going to be 100 Thieves and Enigma 6. That's a losers round 4, and then the winner of that match will play the loser of this. We could potentially have like a Reciprocity, Red Reserve, right? The brothers going at it for top 4 would be a fun one. But yeah, the losers bracket right now is a scary place. I think because of teams like Gen.G, 100 Thieves, the roles that they're on, you don't want to play them. You just don't.
No, you absolutely don't. Now we'll bring you back with a refresher to our main best of 5 on Alpha. You see it there, Splyce, hold on. They had a, 100-point advantage at one point. Red make the run, but it's just not enough. Too little, too late to get through. So Splyce strike first. It's Frequency, search up next. Aqua on your screen, but do you have any players maybe to watch in this search and destroy?
I just think you need someone besides Vance to step up on the Red Reserve side, right? Like, that's been the problem at times, is they all go cold. I'm looking at a guy like Scraps. You know, we've talked about Temp. Temp woke up. Where's Scraps? Where's Zero? We need them to play well if they want to fight for a championship.
Yeah, I think Zero's my guy on the red side, for sure. I think he's the guy that's gotta make the plays. He's been the playmaker for them today on day 2 of CWL Fort Worth. And that's what I'm looking at. I think Temp's fair. I think Looney's had some incredible moments in search and destroy and this spliced into things, but
Aqua.
The list goes on. I mean, between these 2 rosters, it's pretty stacked from top to bottom. free dubs, free cash. Tip is top 5 in Respawn and S&D KD during Forward. Last game, I said he has been the superstar. He has held that. He's been up to any credentials you might have thought he'd be for this particular event. He's been that and more. The guy's a stud.
Yeah, and this was the map that they played Game 5 versus Denial. I know they won that 6-4. I know they have a lot of reps on this map, so definitely a comfortable map pick for Splyce.
Well, here we go. Let's get right into round 1. We talked a lot about Temp, so we're going to kick off with his POV. We've seen Looney be the sniper for them on maps like Payload. Here it's going to be Temp that brings it out, just looking for a pick mid.
Well, beat. Given up by Red Reserve. Remember, when we watched Red Reserve earlier, they will just give up bombs and just try to play scrappy. No, that's a kill you want. At least Rated's there to trade it. Now a 4 versus 4.
And remember, we showed this stat during Red's last series. I mean, going into that, they were leading all teams in first blood percentage, and Joe was the one finding a lot of them. He had a chance for it there, just couldn't finish it.
Yeah, sometimes that SOG can just get away from you. Looney able to find one Temp just here with the strike. Might not need to use it as his teammates take top mid control. The last 2 players are on the flank. It's just all 0. I imagine he might slide off the map, you know, for a challenge and get taken down.
So nice round out of Splyce. They get away with one. I mean, I think the trade was there for Joe almost immediately regardless, but the fact that he didn't finish it, certainly a blessing. We'll see the best play now from Looney's POV as he's patrolling bottom ladders. The quick hop up to top mid, a little bit of a turn and burn. Had some help certainly, but had some help. Yeah, but able to pick up Rated. But Looney, I mean, I think just from I don't want to say a skill standpoint, from a stat standpoint, I mean, this is probably some of the better stuff we've seen from him here on Black Ops 4. I mean, he's stepped up to the plate and really been sensational.
I think the interesting is he's also like their leader. Like he's one of
he
their
does a lot, that's
go-to.
for sure.
So that's what's so important. You look at other guys, maybe like Krema, a bit of an in-game leader, like when he plays well, that's just it's a unique trait. It is very difficult to do.
Well, it's easier to lead probably when you're doing well, that's for sure. The hard stuff comes when you're struggling.
Talked about the first bloods. There's Joe able to find 1-0 with another. So 3 versus 3 is Looney and Jerd able to bring it back.
The cluster, though, from Scraps will give the odds back in a Red Reserve's favor. 3v2 is they're now trying to decide basically what site they want to get the pressure to. Aqua and Jerd are kind of split up right now towards BNA. Does Jerd get a solid timing here as he pushed through the flank? You saw Scraps there on the minimap. He kept kind of checking it just in case they push through. Is he going to expect him here in the corner is the big question. I think he's going to jump right over him. Nice positioning from Scraps. I mean, the shot's a little bit shaky, but he's able to finish the kill. Just like Zero was in a tough 1v3 in the first round, now it's going to be the same for Aqua. We haven't seen many 1v3s. I mean, a similar spot that we saw Dashy clutch yesterday, but it's not very frequent as all 3 players, I think, get shots into him, and they'll be cut down.
It's interesting because Aqua's 330 from streaks. Like, obviously it's not that close, but is it worth playing your life? Do you want that bomb to blow up? Right, like 330, bomb plant a couple of kills.
Where's your line? Where's your line for that, though? I guess like, what number do you play your life?
I guess that's not.
Yeah. Rated talking through the next round with his teammates. It'll be Splyce back to offense. 1 player up mid, a 4-man hit towards A. They've got Vance at the back elbow and then Zero in a position to quickly come out to balcony and help with that ICR. And he does just that. Nice shots. Tip eliminated, and another first blood for Red Reserve. I mean, it should be 3.
Yeah, Joe's trying to stay alive. At least gets the help of Rated. Jerd trying to make any play he can, but he gets shut down. So a 2 versus 4, and then once again, it's just the map control that Red Reserve has been taking. Getting those first bloods the last couple of rounds. Accuracy and Aqua trying to clutch this round out. They at least get the bomb, but Aqua's, Rated with 2.
Well, he talked through the round with his squad and then went huge in that one, too, to close it out. As Red Reserve string together a couple of rounds behind 2 first bloods. And we'll see it now from Rated's POV. It looked a lot easier from his POV.
Yeah, it did. Well, both those guys, I think, had ICRs as well.
looks like all-out aggression. They try to stun him, make sure nobody's in elevator. They're able to hit one. Can they push it out and isolate Jerd? Jerd trying to play his life. I thought for a second he was going to attempt to back up. Almost slides off the map, but what a great job just playing his life till the help comes out. He gets knocked down to 4 HP. If he somehow gets a kill from this, I don't even know if he needs to. His teammates have found 2 over the top. Some fancy footwork here on the catwalk from Jerd. How is he alive?
I have no idea.
He gets stunned,
somehow doesn't
around
fall
elevator.
off the map. I would have been way off that map.
Oh, I thought he was dead. I thought he was dead. He was walking a tightrope there at the edge. Rated, who had the big round previously, is 5-1, just 135 off of some streaks. So they're in a 3v4. Likely thinking about setting him up for another kill if they can.
Or at least get that plant down, maybe at one of those bomb sites. Maybe they think Splyce over rotates. And they have as well. It's just one player, that's accuracy, and Rated gets the bomb. So bomb will be planted, and he's gonna challenge the gunfight. He takes it. There was that rotation. Splyce just went towards B.
He gets the kill and the plant, so he's gonna get streaks off of this.
He might use it. They might use it right away. But Jerd finds one, and Looney just challenges it.
The aggression pays out there for Splyce. I mean, yes, you get the lightning onto Rated, but the no hesitation push to catch him on the bomb, make sure he can't get away with his life and even use the streak. They shut it down. Nice retake there from Splyce. As I thought it was a round that was going to fall apart for him for a moment. Once Rated pushed out that back elbow and got the plant, I thought things were going to get scary.
Yeah, I think that player who was elbow just saw nothing, right? It was probably like, all right, they have to be at B, so you saw a couple of players who were middle and in their base start to rotate. Even he starts to rotate, which then just creates that timing near that elbow. And, well, when you have an ICR, it's a tough gunfight.
Jerd and Looney make the play, but Jerd, what was that? Just at elevator, incredible, incredible movement from him. That round will be done, and now we'll check out the best play. Just Aqua on the retake is, well, okay. He put one bullet in someone and got a kill. How important is a player like Aqua to this squad?
If they want to win, I think very important. Right? I think you're going to consistently get what you're going to get out of Temp. Right? We've seen it time and time again. He's top 5 in both, Respawn and S&D. But you need a second and third guy. That's really been the formula for success for so many different teams. And we know, like, Jordan accuracy can have off series. That's really been a tale of it. So if Aqua and Looney can play well, they will always be competitive.
Well, the lightning strike comes in from Red, trying to funnel him in, but the kills go the way of Splyce. So it'll be a 3 versus 3 now. Bomb looks like it's somewhere towards bottom ladder. It's been picked up now by Temp. Jerd is somehow living quite a bit longer in scenarios where I think he's going to drop. They go for the melee. He's able to back up, hop back, and take the gunfight. And now it's just Joe in a 1v2. He gets hit mid-heal. Now he'll get the full health, but the plant's going to go down. And you have accuracy with that extra HP. Joe gonna try and make the play. He's gonna get a one-on-one gunfight, but he can't win it. He takes that, maybe a chance to slide away, heal up, and re-engage. But
yeah, plus accuracy has an ICR. Like, the reason he had to reposition his accuracy is in those inner pipes, just making sure he can't come that way. It's on attempt, that 1 versus 1. If that goes Joe's way, he can use the movement, use the heal, potentially force an awkward engagement on accuracy.
Well, Temp really does it all there. He wins the one-on-one top mid, gets the plan in, then clutches up in the one-on-one fight to close things out versus Joe. He's like, I know. I had you.
I think he was actually saying, okay, could probably do a strategy. But yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah. I was trying to hype him up. Huh? 3-2 to Splyce now. Red Reserve gonna mix it up. Head towards B. The presence there looks like it's really just gonna be Looney. Scraps has got the sniper out this time around. But that frag comes in and Scraps gone immediately, and Looney able to back up with his life. The rotation comes in. He's got help in the back from Temp in the form of a sniper rifle. And now Red has just absolutely been picked apart. The first blood from Looney really started to dismantle it. Temp hits the shot, accuracy finishes it, and a couple nice rounds here for Splyce.
Once again, it's that frag grenade. We're seeing that more and more often. I think in that Optic Gen.G game 5, like, I saw 2, maybe 3 players from Optic have it at one point. When is that meta gonna change, right? Where you have you know, 2 to 3 frags, try to find first bloods. Then you try to force them off tac mask, maybe put on flak jacket. It's really crazy.
That's true.
Yeah.
Something that might kind of develop over the course of the title, that's for sure. What do you think Red need to mix up now? It's been a couple rounds in a row that Splyce have found success.
Well, I just think it comes down to those first bloods once again. The maps the rounds they were winning, they were getting mid-map control. It was
they were up 2-1, right? That's 3 in a row for Splyce?
Yep. But you can see the way Red's playing. They're still playing aggressive. You like to see this. Yes, they're down in the game, but they have so much control over Elevator now. And Splyce is just taking their time, trying to work a pick. You have Temp with the sniper rifle. They're giving up B once again. And Looney's going to know this. You have one player bottom ladder. That's Joe. All he's doing is watching the cross, just getting that information. And I think Rated and Joe know. They're going towards this B side, so they're going to reposition towards back pipes.
The plan will get in. They're just going to play this 5-on-5 retake, but they just soar at them. Rated drops, but he does some damage, which allows Joe to finish the kill. But at that time, the plank gets in for Splyce as well. Temp relatively close to streaks. It's Aqua that's able to, I think he gets 3 down and finishes 2. The Tempest goes huge. A chance to hit another shot, and he does just that. Now just 300 away from streaks for him. 1 player remaining in Straps. He's gonna peek it, he's gonna back down as the Tempest terrifying, and he's likely gonna see himself right off the map, and that's exactly what it'll be. So what, you have Aqua like 300 off streaks, they get another player, Temp I think like 75 off, and they have a 5-2 lead. Splyce have absolutely taken over this search.
I wonder what the thinking is for Raiden and Joe just to fly on out. Like you've given up.
I thought they were giving up the plant and they were just gonna play the full retake.
Yeah,
and then suddenly they just soar out.
Like they didn't see anybody cross, I get that, but as soon as you hop up that ladder and go all the way back through your base, you know that timing is open for Splyce to reposition there, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, no, I literally right before that, I was like, oh, they're gonna play the retake, and they just flew at them.
I mean, Joe gets a kill at least.
Yeah. But I was a little surprised as well. So Red have got to obviously get around victory and make sure neither Aqua or Temp get streaks in the process. Splyce have War Machine and Grab Slam to try and close this out. Looney's got a ton of information, but can he actually stay up or take somebody with them? It's actually Zero with the drop shot that's able to close out that kill.
What was that drop shot?
You don't see that very often.
You do not see that.
Yeah. A couple times a tournament, really, it feels like. Tim brings out the War Machine, nothing but hit markers for him. He hasn't managed to get streaks out of this either, and they have a 5v3, so it's exactly what you need from Red. Just can they prevent Temp from getting a kill? He peeks the corner, there's the lightning, and they're just gonna hop this. Yep. They're just gonna get on it.
I don't know if they know. Jerd's on it.
Jerd's
on it. And they're not gonna check it. Joe got it. Did he get it?
Yeah, he got the defuse, just hops in. Red can't get eyes on in time. And I think you saw the frustration there on Raiden. He's just like, how? That's our chance to come back into it. But it's Splyce who stand tall after the hard point in the search to destroy. And now have a comfortable 2-0 lead, but we'll take a look at that round yet again.
You'll just see the opening, like right here. Jerd is there. You can see the positioning of Red Reserve. I think Temp shoots so nobody checks the bomb. And through all that, Jerd's been on it the whole time. He got a kill. Or sorry, he didn't get a kill, but he was top middle. There was 2 or 3 players from Red in the ladders, and that's where Temp got a kill. So Jerd just flew out during that timing and got to the bomb.
And I feel like we haven't seen a whole lot of ninjas throughout the course of this title, but we've seen a few this weekend. Like people just kind of hopping without abandon, and it's working out because I think players aren't really expecting them to do it all that often. But we'll get right back to Bravo. Gen.G were able to take that map 1 in convincing fashion, and now we'll focus on the search. Up around right now is Reciprocity desperately need a win. You might see the 2 EU teams going down 0-2 early in these series.
Yeah, I mean, Reciprocity has had their backs against the wall, a couple of times throughout this weekend. Just the round before, they were down 1-2, able to win it in Game 5. But going down 2-0, especially to a very hot Gen.G, not what they want. Tommy's struggling at 1-6, trying to find a sniper kill on the other side. Havoc at 9-4, having a great game.
As Dylan finds a kill, it's advantage now to Reciprocity. Havoc on the complete opposite side of the map. We're just going to highlight him as he might be the player that needs to make a flank, but he's still got a ways to go, and his teammates being picked apart on the other side. It's a 2 versus 3. You can see how far apart right now Mox and Havoc are. They have a 2v3 in a sense right now because the bomb's getting planted, but as that goes down, he'll get off a bomb. Havoc does get a kill. They win on both sides, so now it's a 2v2. They've got a chance to do this. He gets tagged up, just trying to get away with his life. He syncs up with his teammate, and now they can very well clutch this 2v4. They stun out Wuskin. Just looking for information. 25 seconds to make this play. Havoc just has to go. He takes a little bit of damage around the edge, heals up, re-peaks, but Dylan up to the task. The trade doesn't come in as Dylan saves Reciprocity from a very scary 4v2.
I mean, that was one of those situations where if Wuskins gets caught, if that player doesn't have a stun in his hand, he's probably dead.
Yeah, I was just honestly, I was waiting for him to shoot him. I literally was just waiting for him to
It felt like he was like, oh crap, right? Like, what is going on? He's right in front of me, just running away from me.
I think we're suddenly hearing the comms a little bit from Bravo, but now we're good. So 4-4 as we wait for the map 3 to get ready between the other side of this series. I'm just trying to see where this push is going to come from. They start to move up through tunnel. Gen.G starting to build the pressure towards B. Dylan does have the Tempest to work with. He's able to hit the shot. Nagafin drop. He's going to get finished. Envoy, though, able to even it at 4 apiece.
That was just perfect from Dylan. I mean, great timing.
Nice shot.
Got on the Moss, but can't find the second one. But Nagafin just slid right. He didn't even have to aim in. Just hip fired that kill. Zed trying to get aggressive. He does find, as Dylan goes down, does find Envoy. So now a 3 versus 3.
Now look at Tommy's position. He's highlighted on the minimap. He's got an ICR from here, but he's just going to back it down to his teammates, use the ledge slide, get across the map. It's a good thing he moved. Otherwise, he's getting caught if that comes in maybe a second later on the rotation. He's actually still going to get gunned down. The pressure comes in. Tommy can't get away, but it'll be Zed coming in. Might be able to get a second. He's able to do just that. 1v1, Major Maniac falls. Shawnee goes big, and that's back-to-back rounds for Reciprocity.
They're now 1 round away from tying this series up at 1. You can see Zed, his ability to stay alive right there. That able to find the bomb planter and then get away, then has the help of Shawnee. Makes those easy trades.
Try to listen to them kind of talk through this next round as we're trying to give you guys a little insight between each round for these squads. But they just need one more round to tie up this series.
Zed has grab slam. That player, I think, recognizes it though. Knows the situation, sees it's the ruined
He's
character.
like, I'm the hell out of there.
I'm out.
This extra HP is not going to do anything for me in this scenario. They stun the back. They've gotten control of the site. Tommy able to get a pick. Dylan connects as well. Gen.G in trouble of dropping another search and destroy, but they push through, and Mox somehow gets 2.
What are Zed and Dylan doing? I mean, you have the grab slam, but Tommy bails them out. Just wait till those players get in the door. You have the grab slam play around it. Now it's doable.
It feels like what Dylan had to bail them out of a potential 2v4. Now Tommy has to make a play to bail them out of a 5v3, but they're not quite bailed out yet. There's not a lot of time remaining. They're able to team shot Tommy and drop him. They still have to find 2 players. Nagafin tries to hop across, doesn't hit the jump. It's a scary one. He's going to go off. And the Rec Pack tie it up at 1-1.
I mean, as soon as we joined this match, it was all Reciprocity as they won 3 rounds in a row. It was 3-4, and then just like that, they're able to tie it up.
Yeah, when we hop in, it is all Reciprocity. But yeah, it feels like they were bailed out of what could have been insane comebacks and rounds by the side of Gen.G. I mean, Dylan had to find those 2 kills to clutch up. Tommy had to hit a snipe to put it back in their favor. But we'll focus back to Red Reserve versus Splyce. Splyce so far comfortably controlling. I know the scoreline looks close to that game 1, but I mean, they had a massive lead early. Just kind of retained it until that kind of big run out of red. But this matchup, as you see at the bottom, they've both been 3-1 in control, so definitely one of the strongest game modes for these 2 teams.
And we saw Red Reserve earlier on this map against Envy. It was a defensive battle until that last push where finally...
That's right, the first 4 was defensive B, right?
Yep, finally Red Reserve able to capture that B side. Well, this is exactly what they did. Just early on, went to A. Splyce, they played the gamble, thought they might just go to that B side. Temp does find a kill. So that might trigger like, hey, we could try to retake this, especially if he almost finds the second one. But here comes the rest of Splyce. Remember, Splyce is that team at the Pro League who just set up a very nasty spawn trap on this map.
Well, we've seen on this map, we saw them win a seaside control in about 7 seconds. Like they've had some really impressive results
You see
in
those
this
arrows,
particular mode.
7 and 8, just looking at the spawn. Basically, those guys are just forcing all of the rest of that team inside of showers. And there we go. They're going to spot Scraps. He's going to go down, and they're going to go right back to that setup between Jerd and Looney.
Yeah, well, next up, it looks like it's going to be Vance that's going to have to try and deal with it, and he does just that. But Splyce are up 2-0. They're in control of this series, looking to close it out and move into the top 3. Let's get to an Astro Gaming listening with Splyce.
Looking rocks, hold open.
He's probably back fire.
Looking hole.
Zero's playing streaks, guys.
Okay, I have the push through.
I have to jump out.
Nice, sure. One more in Granny's. Go top. Yeah, go top.
Scraps is up here.
Can you slide back alley?
Top one
Zero
shot,
hole.
Scraps. Say, challenge window, top, scrap.
Top traps. Weak.
Spawn 18 still, spawn
Give me
18.
your back alley.
Yo, the double chop me in the back.
You can push him.
I got one, I got 0. One more back bending. Two back bending on me. Joe and Rated.
I'm hitting hole. I'm
Oh,
gonna
Vance,
flank Rated. I'm gonna flank Rated. I'm gonna
Rated,
flank him.
Joe,
I'm gonna
back
flank him.
bending.
I'm gonna flank Vance. I'm trying to
He's
flank him.
looking for you, Donnie.
Rated one shot rocks.
Are we missing anyone? We killed
Rated
Scraps.
Rocks. Rated still rocks.
Ice zero. He's
You cross.
4 and 1.
Coming back to
You want Donnie?
Back to rocks,
Oh,
back to rocks.
nice. I'm staying down.
I'm
Up front. I'm
Rocks,
helping you
weak,
rocks.
rocks, weak.
He
Gonna
went
help
back
you.
alley. He went back alley.
Rated rocks.
Still rocks.
There's 2 of them.
Yeah, Rated rocks.
Running top. Nice choke still.
I'm up in front,
He's tall. Rated top.
Okay, top. What's the ice?
Still hole.
They only got 30
Alive.
seconds.
Oh, no,
Rated
no,
still
push
hole.
up.
Rated coming up
Ice
front.
struck.
He
Go
punched
rocks.
me.
Rated
I
still
struck
rocks.
it.
I struck.
Yo, we need help. Help.
I'm giving it the back. I'm giving it the back. I'm giving it the
Two.
back.
See him hole.
Go,
Rated
Scraps,
to the back.
weak.
I'm flanking. Weak Scraps. Or Joe. Yo, stay alive. Stay
Come
alive.
on,
Just look at the back. Look at the back. Look at the back.
18.
Two pillar, 218. I need to reload.
One me down. Nice. He's our back alley, rated.
Card, one shot.
Rated is our back alley.
18.
Looking at you, close slide. I'm looking at
Spawn, rated.
I don't see him.
Sushi and 18. Sushi and 18.
18 weeks.
We're back and lives are even at 11 apiece. Is it going to be a defensive battle yet again for Red Reserve? Splyce so far holding strong, but Red Reserve have now gotten in. They're getting close to that second tick. Splyce have got to fight in.
Yeah, Zero's inside this 18 once again. The stack is there. They have to go. Splyce has to try to get in. It's Scraps who finds 2. Joe with another one and streaks as well on Scraps. And Red Reserve with a great round 1 win.
Big round 1. You get the streaks to work with as well. Exactly what you want if you're going to make a bit of a comeback here in this best of 5. Because Splyce have absolutely looked a superior team, but I think that's just a small win. You need to get some victories going if you're Red Reserve. 1 round at a time, 1 map at a time. This is where it begins.
And it was a great job. You heard in that listen, and Aqua was like, stay alive, focus on the guys on the back, because he goes on a flank through top middle, has the opportunity to get a couple of those guys down. But Scraps wins the 1 versus 1. And I think it was Rated on the opposite end who just stayed alive for so long, was being annoying in the side of Splyce.
You see those streaks at the bottom right for Scraps. Splyce are going to opt to go right for the heavy hit today. There's 3 players here from Red Reserve, but as Vance drops, it makes it oh so difficult. So they're just going to back out immediately. Don't want to throw away any more lives.
Yeah, just don't waste lives. And there we go. They sort of set up this trap where Splyce has to come out of this through any of these narrow doorways. You have a couple of players towards the back garden. That's going to be Scraps and Vance. 1 player watching hole. And then on Splyce's side, you have Joe and Rated just setting on up, but Looney able to find 1, so that'll find an opening as Temp finds the second. Now they can push out.
There's a big opening big enough to drive a bus through as they get the 2 kills in the back. But it's Joe and Zero from mid-map that slow it down. Really Aqua, the only man standing at the end of it, but there's clusters everywhere. He can't get away in the corner. And that's a nice shot from Red Reserve holding on after 2 dropped. I thought things were to get very ugly towards the Red Reserve spawn.
And then you had Joe and Rated on the opposite end trying to just lock things down, but they do clear the top street. Splyce now gonna make a push, but you have Zero in that great position behind that car with the saw. He's just gonna peek on up, find a kill with Rated looking over him.
This is where they were so good in the series versus Envy. They'd give up A quickly, it would not matter. They would stand strong at B for 2.5 minutes if needed. And you can tell they're going for it. This streak in, they've already invested 1. They're getting towards the specialists as well. You have a Lightning. They might throw a lot. We saw around versus Envy where they threw what? 2 streaks, 3 specialists out. Like they're not scared to go for that 2-0 edge. They lost that round.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
they're not
but,
scared to go for it.
Well, They might have to throw a lightning at this as well. As Splyce finding all of those kills. We'll see what they do. One tick in from Splyce. Scraps, it doesn't look like he's moving, so I might be calling in the lightning. There it is, gonna force them all into Sushi. Temp takes down his teammate, but it's still so close. They have to contest. Finally, Zero gets in.
It's so close. They have to have a full-on contest here, get the kills and back it up, but they're not able to do it. Accuracy gets the final two. Splyce get the capture. And screw the defensive affair we were talking about. It's been all offense thus far, is one round for either side.
Especially the way Splyce did it. Like, a lot of the times when you see successful offensive rounds, it's usually a bit of a pinch. One guy just being a nuisance at the spawn. They go all the way around the 18, somehow get behind them. Splyce just found, I think, Zero and Vance up front, and then from there found all the kills.
It's a big push, and it's enough to close out that round. We'll see what Red Reserve can do now offensively. So far, every opening push towards A. Accuracy due to the big round, well, big tail into that round. He's gotten very close to streaks. Temp too. You've got, what, two players like 100, 150 off. The War Machine's coming in early. That's not a good use of the War Machine. That's Jerd and Aqua splattered to the wind. Can he actually get in the opponents? The answer is quickly no. Joe, you don't get streaks by killing your teammates, and then he's gonna end up dropping, so he dismantles his team's defense and doesn't get streaks.
That's gotta be a miscommunication. Like, he has to call out he's using the War Machine, and I don't know what happened. It looks like he was trying to bounce him off the wall inside of showers.
Yeah, bounce him off his teammates' domes.
Yeah, Jordan Aqua get taken down. Now Red Reserve tried to switch it up a little bit where they tried a bit of a split push because they're getting A, right? A's being gived up by Splyce. Scraps down trying to be a nuisance. Can he at least find one? Yeah. So he doesn't waste his life towards the back. But here's that push once again from Red Reserve. Oh, we heard the Pack 5 being used. Jerd's gonna find that kill.
Well, I think the good thing, though, even though Temp had that bit of a blunder, him and Accuracy are close to streaks, and Accuracy was able to get his. So at least somebody comes out of that with streaks. I don't know what that was, but Jerd.
It's like, all right, I give up.
Yeah, right, that's what it looks like. Like, all right, fine, take this kill. Might have just been reloading or in an awkward spot. But at 21-21, Red Reserve just looking to develop this push. Scrap's kind of low man at mid-map, but he's going to get pushed. This should stagger, and his two players going to push him. Actually, a team kill comes in. Looney is able to pick up the kill, but after taking out a teammate as well, and that was three teammates on the other side are going to end up dropping, so Accuracy has to immediately call in the lightning. But Red Reserve are inside. Looks like they're not too worried about the objective, but more finding kills inside of 18 to clear out the back so the reinforcements can get into the zone. They haven't got that first tick yet. It's a good job just contesting from Splyce. Okay, everyone just wants to kill their teammates with War Machines.
Yeah, and then Vance finds Scraps, who had the War Machine out. Jerd now gonna fly on into Sushi. Gonna spot that last player. Somehow none of those bullets connect. Yes, that is his ankle. There we go. Vance gets taken down, but that was just a, I mean, Vance and Zero, they use Grab Slam and Tempest, but then Accuracy follows that up with the Lightning Strike, and that forces all of Red Reserve in a very weird situation where they have to stack the 18. So a good job by Splyce, and it was really Looney, who right now is at 16-9, really stopped that push.
And this single round may have had the two worst War Machine uses that I've seen in a series. All within one round of control.
Now Accuracy gonna use the Hellstorm, finds one. That'll slow down Red Reserve a bit, but it's 9-6, make it 9-5. Just one more push for Red.
Still doable, but a big deficit here. And Temp is pushed up so far towards that front truck. They have time for this push to try and develop it. It looks like they want to do what Splyce did, just kind of put all the pressure through the front. But they need that first domino to fall. They have to find an opening. And Temp's going to be the guy they got to get through. He doesn't finish the kill. He's able to slide away from it, though. Great movement from Temp to get out of the fight. Then he gets the reload in, but he's going to end up dropping. 4 players left, only 5 on the side of Splyce. And here comes Red Reserve. One grapples across.
Jerd wanted to grab slam. Jerd wanted to grab slam, but Looney got in his way.
They still have a 4v3. But a presence still here. As I say that, though, it's 1 player left. Joe going to be the last man standing in a 1 versus 3. He gets 2, but Aqua able to close it out. But That just felt like a very, I don't know if chaotic or sloppy is the right word to use.
Yeah.
But yeah.
A lot of mistakes from both sides. But the one great thing for Splyce is Looney, the way he's playing in this control. But you saw, I mean, we were on board with Jerd. When those players went down in the front street, Jerd's like, let me get in the sushi, right? Like, let me use the grab slam. Then Looney was using the same movement as him.
We already had enough team kills in that round.
Just added one more.
Yeah.
Put it on the board.
Well, despite the blunders, Splyce able to come out on top in that round, but they do use several specialists and both streaks from accuracy. But you still have Temp. Well, I guess he must have got half of that back or something. Like he's already towards another War Machine.
Yes.
I mean, that was just at the start of that round. I'm guessing he must have got a bit of it back. But he's definitely going to get another one, and Accuracy and Jerd still have theirs to work with. Jerd looking to line this up, wants to look for an opening, may have spotted two towards that back courtyard.
Just can Red Reserve stay alive? Can they take this to a round 5? Because they're not going to get many specialists. Splyce has a lot, and you know they're just going to try to put them away right here. They're going to get a vision pulse.
That's it, really, right?
You know, maybe you can use it to retake a site or play very aggressive and slow down the push. Temp not able to connect on either of those players. I think the auto aim sort of
it looked like he was searching for some aim assist or getting too much of it. I couldn't tell.
But 3 go down for Red, and Raiden once again takes down another teammate. They have to go. Vision Pulse used. Vision Pulse used on the side of Red Reserve.
I think a bit of a collision there. He hits him as he's grappling in midair, or maybe hits the box as he goes for the grapple, or for the grab slam, but it's still able to get a kill. But they're 2.5 bars in. They can finish it here. Red Reserve has to fly in. They're trying to do it. They're not able to do it. Splyce gets the capture. They get the 3-0. Splyce move into the winner's bracket final, where they've got a date with LG. Red just not strong enough. What a series from Splyce.
Yeah, they look great. Just all of them individually played extremely well on the side of Red Reserve. Again, this is just what's happened from time to time. It just feels like their guns just get cold. Like nobody steps on up in those big respawns.
Oh, it's been a long day, that's for sure. You just wonder if they had one more big game in the tank, but not enough. Is Splyce really across all 3 game modes look the superior team? I mean, it's pretty much a comfortable game 1, comfortable game 2. I know there's moments in that game 3 where it gets close, but they look the better team across all game modes.
Tell you what though, this has been a fun Saturday.
It has.
Obviously with the format change, you have the bracket starting right away, and it's been a great time.
Well, yeah, I mean, you haven't had the open teams coming in where it's usually them getting blown out at times, or just trying to figure out what's going on with the full play, just right into bracket play and the matchups that you want to get. Sometimes you got to wait till Saturday night, but we get right into it. And yeah, it's paid off. There's been upsets galore, incredible performances, sloppy play at times for many teams, but it's all setting us up for what should be an incredible day 3, an incredible championship Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, Splyce and LG right back to the winners final. They're top 4 once again, keeping that trend from Vegas.
True.
And it's, I mean, they're both teams who at times have struggled. I mean, LG early on in the Pro League, we just have no idea, but it just feels like something clicked out of nowhere.
Think how different your top 4 teams are. You have top 16 from United, top 12 from Optic, but these two, you're still back into the top 4. But a guy that has been top 5 in KD across Respawn and Search and Destroy, it's the superstar, it is Temp. We've got him on stage with your PlayStation Instant Reaction.
Thank you, Clint. How does it feel to be undefeated here at Fort Worth?
It's a great feeling. That's it. It's the best feeling in the world.
All right, that series was such a clean 3-0. What was the moment when you knew you had it?
After we won the first map, we normally don't play Arsenal, but we've been playing it a lot this event, and once I knew that we won Arsenal, it was over.
Well, finally, you are going to be headed to the winner's bracket to be facing off against Luminosity. How are you feeling about that match coming up?
We already 3-1 them this event. We have like a pretty good matchup versus them, so I'm feeling really confident. And all I know, they're gonna play. It's gonna be a lot harder than it was the first time, but we just gotta show up and play our game, and we'll win.
All right. Well, do you have anything that you'd like to say to your fans?
We trying to take this one home, man. For real, man. I'm trying to get my first ever win, man. Simple as that. I'm trying to get my first ever event win. So, yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction, and we'll be right back after this quick break.